Okay, guys, today we're going to do a stock review using my system for Meta. I hope you're excited. This is a stock that has been of great interest in the last year in 2023 and 2024. It is now August of 2024, and we are in a little bit of a market pullback, and this stock has been faring pretty well considering that the market has been pulling back overall. So let's dig in and just overview my system really quickly on what we'll be looking at. So the first thing that we want to do is figure out if we understand what the company is and what they do. That's really paramount to owning a stock. You shouldn't own a stock if you don't know the story of the stock and you don't know what they do. The second thing is we're going to evaluate 5-year, 1-year, and 3-month charts and make sure that those are all up. Our revenue and gross profit on the financial statements up year over year. Do the institutions love the stock, and does it pay a dividend? Okay. So here's what we're going to do. First of all, we're just going to talk about what Meta is, okay? So Meta is Facebook. A couple years ago in 2022, they renamed themselves from Facebook to Meta to branch out and not be known as just Facebook because it was too limiting for them as a corporation. They wanted to grow in other areas of tech. So they own Facebook, they own Instagram, they own Threads, which is like their version of Twitter or X, and they are also into generative AI, and they are doing a lot in tech. So that's who they are. They also tried to do this failed thing called the metaverse, which no longer really anyone is talking about, and I'm very curious to see if it even exists anymore. But they were pushing it at one point in time. So I think everybody understands who Meta is and what they do. They make a lot of their money from advertising. So advertisers spend money on their platforms to have their ads come up on their follower feeds, the social feeds, and like really target me. Like if they found out that I like scarves, I might get a lot of scarf ads in my feed, and I can just directly buy, and then that advertiser pays Facebook to get my attention. So that is one of the ways that they collect revenue. Okay, so that is pretty much how Meta works. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the summary page on Yahoo Finance and just take a look at these charts. So 5-year, that is a beautiful percentage. It's 165%. I don't know why my chart isn't loading right now, but we can just start there. Like if we see something that says 165, we know that chart is up and that it's green. I'm going to refresh my screen real fast and see if this will load a little bit faster. Nope. Okay. And then 1 year is 57% that is up. This is kind of interesting. We could just do this off of percentages and not even look at the green if we wanted to be even faster than looking at the charts. So let's do it that way. Since Mercury is currently retrograde, I've realized, and none of the technology in my house is working very well in these last few days. And then the 3-month, 4.97%. That is also up. So those charts are all green. That's a go ahead for us. That passes that metric, okay? And those numbers are really gorgeous. Like the 1 year, I'm going to tell you why that happened, that it went up 57%, almost 60%. It is because 6 months ago, Meta announced that they are now paying a dividend. So that checks off another box of ours, is that it's a bonus to have a dividend. So they started paying their first ever dividend. The stock market loves it when you previously haven't paid a dividend and now you pay one. So the stock soared because they now have a dividend. That is important because there are certain institutions that can only trade and invest in stocks that pay a dividend. So previously, there were many institutions that were locked out of buying or trading Meta just because it didn't pay one. So the idea that it pays a dividend is powerful for so many reasons. And like I go into this a lot in my mentorship program, but one of those reasons is that now more institutions can buy it, which means the stock has more buyers. And when a stock has more buyers, the stock price can increase, which is exactly what we want to happen as long-term investors and as options traders when we options trade with a system like mine. Okay, so then the next thing that we are going to do is look at the STEX financial statements. And I'm going to look at the annual, and then I'm going to look at 2020 straight on through to the current date of 2024, what's projected here, and I'm going to look at total revenue and gross profit. And I want all these numbers to be going up. So 85, 117, 116. Oops. 116 is lower than 117, so we had something go on here. That's not good. But if we carry on, we see that the following year they really grew a lot from the 116 and went up to 134, and now they're up to 149. So something went on here that's not pretty, but their comeback has been super strong. The next row we're going to look at is gross profit. We're going from 69, 95, 91. Same sort of situation here. We have a down year. 108 and 121. So again, if we compare 95, we skip this year, they're still going up. So what we want to do now is sort of research what the heck happened in 2022 if we're interested in buy this stock. Because this stock fails the metric, okay? So it fails on our revenue and gross profit on the financial statements up year over year. But if you are a fan of Meta and you want to keep it on a stock watch list and you want to buy some shares, you might be more interested in what actually happened here. Okay, so when something fails just on one tiny bit of a metric, you might be willing to take more of a chance with that stock. And in the case of Meta, I probably would take a chance more on this stock, and I will tell you why. I happen to know the history of what happened in 2022, and if you wanted to, you could look this up for yourself. What happened, because I remember it, was that Meta did this thing where they rebranded themselves from Facebook to Meta. And that cost them in share price. It cost them in share price for the reason people kind of thought it was weird. It was probably the right move because they needed to expand their reach in tech, and the company of Facebook was really seen as this platform that's sort of a little bit of a dying platform. Like, I don't know if you've noticed, but a lot of people aren't on Facebook anymore, and they're moving over to other platforms. So Meta, or the people at Meta, needed to subtract themselves from the Facebook brand a little bit and be a place where Instagram, Threads, Facebook, and all of these other new social platforms that they're going to develop in the future, and all of this new AI and stuff that they're developing, can live under a bigger umbrella. Okay, but it took a while for people to make that adjustment, and at the time they had also decided to do this heavy investment in the metaverse. Okay, and the metaverse was supposed to be a place where you and I could go and live like out a digital life, and not really maybe have our true identities out there and build like a fake digital home and like be a fake digital soldier. I have no idea, right? And they weren't very good at selling their idea on it either. So they kind of went in hard on the metaverse, and consumers were like, I don't know what this meta place is, and I don't even think I really want to go there to the metaverse. Like, I don't. And they even came out with like what the metaverse would look like, and it looked stupid. Like, it looked really lo-fi and not near the quality that a video game looked at. So it was basically a virtual reality. That's what it was, a virtual reality, and it looked a decade behind where it should be with modern technology. So that was a bit of a messed up. The good thing is that the CEO there, love him or hate him, he is kind of smart. And he was like, you know what? This metaverse thing, it's not working out. People don't want to go there. We're getting feedback that it's not as cool as we think it is. And he very quickly righted the ship in the right direction, dropped talk of the metaverse, and started focusing on other things. So when a CEO or a company missteps and they recognize it really quickly and they turn things around, that sort of proves to me, and they increase their numbers like this, like the shows here, that shows to me that there are adults in the room, there are people that are very intelligent running that company, and they know how to build a company back up when it goes through a pullback from either bad decision making or bad consumer spending or whatever. Like, they have people that are thinking about solutions, and they were able to cause a solution. So I know this is a really long review of Meta, but these are my feelings about it, and this is what I know about it to be true. So whether Meta is right for you or not, I do think it is a strong contender for the future, just based on their past performance and how when they stumbled, they picked themselves right up again and start making money in new ways and figure out new ways to make money. So overall, I do think that Meta is a buy for me. If I was to have cash in my account right now, I would consider Meta. I have definitely options traded with Meta, and I've done so very successfully. Because this dividend, when they released the dividend this year, the stock soared. And it seems like that whole metaverse thing that pulled them down in the past, that really is in the past now. So as long as they don't make any other silly decisions, like they want to make some other digital universe on Mars, I think this company will be fine. And I do like it. I love the 5-year chart. I think it's fantastic. The recent charting is great. People are still believing in the company. Institutions still believe in the company. And now they have all these new institutional buyers that can come in because they pay a dividend.